Hey there, I'm Scott MacFarlane with CBS News in Washington and previously with NBC4 in Washington. I was asked to speak at your symposium, and I'm sorry that the craziness of the 2024 election has precluded me from being there in person. I'm a big believer in the organizers of the DC Metro Black Tech Symposium. I'm a big believer in Blacks United in Leading Technology, and I'm a big believer in the mission you're all there to talk about and to help build. As a journalist, this has been quite a year. It's been quite an election. I'll acknowledge to you, I'm still emerging from what happened July 13th. I was in Butler, Pennsylvania, at the rally, on the front lines with CBS News when the gunfire erupted. And like a lot of people on press row, I ducked beneath the rafters, worried about getting hit by bullets, and then worried about getting attacked by some people in the crowd who, for reasons beyond understanding, blamed us for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and all the death threats we got in the days and weeks that followed there in Butler, Pennsylvania. It's been quite a year. It's been a traumatic year in certain ways for some of us, but we all just go back to our basic premise as journalists. What are we supposed to do? How do we tell this story? How do we communicate with the public? Which was difficult at first because we didn't have cell phone signals that day. The Secret Service may have knocked them out, or they may have knocked themselves out, so we couldn't text loved ones, my wife, my kids, my friends at home, to tell them I was okay. But we did get back on television, and we did get back to our principles. How do we tell a story? How do we communicate accurately, fairly, and appropriately to our audiences? And that's a big picture issue we grapple with every day in journalism. And that's what brings me here to speak with you. How do we accurately communicate and represent the public? See, in journalism, it can't just be people from one walk of life. Not everybody can look and sound and have the background of me. If so, our community is not fully represented. A diversity of opinion is so critical in journalism. Not just where you are demographically, not just your age, your background, where are you from? Do you have a family? Are you from a small town, big town? Highly educated, street smart, book smart? Are you somebody with a unique backstory? The diversity of voices makes journalism better. The more different backgrounds represented, the better off we are representing our audience and communicating with our audience. We seek out diversity of different types to fill a newsroom. When we're standing on the rafters there at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, it helps to have some people with different backgrounds, some who know what it's like to be at the scene of violence, maybe some who've served in the military, those who've got wives and kids like I did, thinking of that and communicating to the audience what it sounded like to hear the kids in the crowd scream, what it was like not being able to text a loved one, a wife or kids, that you were okay, like so many people in the crowd did. It helped to have people who were young, people who were old, been around a while. It helps to have diversity. We do our best as public stewards when we have diversity. That's why I've always been so mindful of your mission. As we try to create new technologies, as we try to sculpt a better second half of the 21st century, we need to make sure all of the vital utilities in America have diversity, have all backgrounds represented, that we are leading a charge that is inclusive of everyone. That's why what you're doing this week, these 3 days, is so important and something that people from all walks of life can support. Because if we don't have inclusiveness in all the things we do, we're not doing right by our professions, we're not doing right by our technology, we're not doing right by our country. The United States of America is rich in its diversity. It succeeds because of its diversity. It succeeds by being inclusive. And if we're going to have an election and we're going to be ducking bullets on the campaign trail, if we're going to fight this fight for America, we should ensure inclusivity. Thanks for asking me to speak. Best of luck over the next few days.